Having a good relationship with the creatives you work with, in my opinion, is more important than the cost of the actual project. If you don't know, when you work with a creative, regardless of what industry they may be working within, you could be working with them for months. Projects in the creative sphere often run for quite a significant amount of time. I mean, in video production, if you're very smart about the strategy and what you want from video content, you could be working with the same video production company for years, and they will just end up with a catalogue of content and video content for you that you can then dip into as and when you need it. And this is why my advice to anyone who wants to work with creatives: shop around. Shop around, go and make friends. Try and have at least a meeting, have a couple of meetings before you even start a project, because you want to be able to gauge how friendly you can be with these people, with this company. The friendlier you are, the easier the project will be, because this, on a very human level, the more you know each other and the friendlier you are, the better your communication will be. And this is the key point. Communication with creative projects is so fundamental, it hurts. And it's also one of the more difficult aspects of creative projects. This is because when we talk about creative and the creative and your ideas, this is all very, very subjective. What you might say is red, someone may say is pink. Like, they are very close, but they are very different all at the same time. So communicating your ideas, the feelings, the outcome you want is so important. And knowing the person you're working with understands you is also incredibly important. You have to be able to trust that they are going to take your ideas and create something that reflects what you brain dumped at them. And the relationship between you and your creative needs to be on equal terms. You need to be both able to say things that might be difficult to say on a normal basis, because not only are these subjective and the outcomes are quite subjective, you've also got to think, we as creatives, when we come up with ideas, when we put our heart and soul into these pieces of work and then they are then criticised, can be tricky. We're not very good at separating ourselves from what we're producing. It's a fine balancing act between passion and professional. Some of us are still working on it. But when you like each other and you're friendly and you're on really good terms, those more difficult conversations are a lot easier to be had. Questions that you as a non-creative have may be easier to ask because you're not feeling inferior, because you're friendly, you can have some banter. They can mock you for like asking a silly question, but actually they'll answer it really well and get you onto the right page. Having a very good relationship makes the whole project process a lot easier. And that's why I say, when you're looking for companies, regardless of their capabilities, the style of work they do, the outcome of the projects they've done, if you don't like them, it's gonna make the whole process just so much harder for you. It's gonna feel like such a slog. You'll read into things that you don't need to read into. Finding someone you can be on equal terms, friendly with, take to the pub, like have a rap party, they're going to be able to have those discussions and disagreements with you in a very constructive way, where you aren't going to feel like any negative feedback quite the same. This is why networking is just so important, and particularly for creatives, because it is a two-way street. A creative shouldn't take on a project unless they like the client for the same reasons. It can be a slog, even though they're getting paid at the end of the day. Being fussy about the clients we take on is important, because particularly for me as a videographer, video production company, I want to be able to have really long-lasting relationships with my clients. I want them to be able to reach out to me a year after we've worked together and be like, hey, you got footage of XYZ. I would like some video content around that with these captions, with this call to action. Can we get this done? And I would be more than happy to do that. And we can then back that up with new footage. Like, there's a lot you can go back and do, but you can't do that, or it makes it very difficult to do that, if you feel like you haven't ended on good terms. You kind of shoot yourself in the foot a bit. My wholehearted advice to anyone who's hiring creators, whether that's even as employees or as outsourcing, make sure you gel with them well, get along with them, make sure the people that you are constantly in contact with get along with you, because miscommunication and misunderstandings happen very easily, and happen very easily over email as well. So keep that in mind. Really make an effort to find the right people for you and your business, not just the person who is very specifically skilled for the job. And the thing that is unique for creatives as well, when you finish a project with them, is that they often become ambassadors for your brand as well, because their work also represents your brand. If they don't get along with you, or they didn't enjoy working with you, they're less likely to use it in like their show reels or portfolio. Take care of your creatives, look after them, people. Treat them like little pets and check in on them regularly, because they will be your brand's best friend. I love hyping up brands I've worked with and loved. It's something I'm really proud of. So keep that in mind when you're looking for your next creative project partner.